Peace, y'all. Um, if you guys noticed, like on my playlist, I have a Nobody's reading tab with a bunch of cool books that I read. And it's been a long time since I've done a Nobody's reading tab, but I've been reading a lot of books, and I thought I would start that back up. So I wanted to start that back up by introducing this book, Chrishell Stause, Under Construction. Um, I really enjoyed this book. I found this book inside, like, we have these little towers outside. They have the books, the take a book, leave a book tower, or whatever. And when I saw this, it said under construction. And I really like those kind of like self help books. And at that period of time, I was really looking for a self help kind of book. And I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I'm under construction now too. So I wonder what she has to talk about. So I, grabbed the book and I've been reading a little bit here and there, like on my way to and from certain places while I'm in the Ubers, usually when I'm reading this book, just like really like downtime. It wasn't like my main focal book that I have been reading. But I really enjoyed this book. I didn't know who Chrishell Stause was. I'm not big on soap operas. Passions was my jam. She's not on that one. And I never watched the Sunset Selling Sunset show on Netflix. So I didn't know who she was. It was just like I saw the book and I was like, oh snap, like I just felt the connection. My life's under construction. I want to see what she's talking about. So I like that she shared her personal story. So apparently she's from a small town in Kentucky, and she has about like five sisters. She has hippie parents. Her dad plays the drums. Her mother is kind of like, a free spirit. Can't really tell her anything. And it's like the overall vibe that I got from this book, which actually starts to be like one of her conscious construction tips, is everyone starts somewhere. And so I just wanted to go over some of the construction tips that she went over in the book. So I really like that too as she shares her story. I won't get into the book too much because y'all should get it. Like, if you're interested in hearing about somebody's personal story, coming from a small town and then ending up in Hollywood doing real estate as well as being in soap operas, and she was also on Dancing with the Stars, something else I don't watch. Like, I didn't know who she was. I really got it because like I was interested in the book, and you know and I just thought it would have some gems, and it did. She gave me a lot of gems. She introduced me to a lot of things I didn't know about the acting world, about being in between jobs, and how the pay is set up, and how the relationship with the agents are, and the other actors, and even like getting into like reality shows such as Selling Sunset, how the script is, and stuff like that. So it was really cool to get some of that insight or whatever. But everyone starts somewhere. Know your limits. Stay humble. Be mindful of gossip at work, especially, and don't accept every invitation. Every invitation is sometimes sent for whatever. But just because you don't, follow through with the invitation, sometimes send a gift. Discernment is key. Stay professional. Don't announce your eggs before they hatch. Something that I learned of the a difficult way a few times, where like learning about my procrastination, perfectionism situation, but I would get so excited about certain things, I would give it a deadline or a due date before, it was even ready to be out there. Under promise, over deliver. That's a big one too. I'm gonna read some of the other construction tips that she has in here. You can manifest all you want, but you also have to do the work. Good things will just come to those who sit around and meditate without a plan of action. I like that one. Never forget where you came from. Pulling yourself out of a rough beginning will give you motivation, guts, and goals. I like that one too. That was a good one. This one, if being an art model doesn't sound like a good way to make extra cash, don't do it. So she was like a nude art model for a class, and then she stopped when she realized that people in the hallway could see her. So I would have kept doing it. But do what you have to do, even if it's uncomfortable, boring, or embarrassing. But know when it's time to quit. Know your limits, okay? And I like that. Like, when I first went through her book and I saw these pictures, I didn't appreciate them at first. But once I got to the end of the book and I heard about the story with her relationship with her parents and her husband and her romantic life and her sisters and stuff, that's when I felt more comfortable to come back to these pictures, and I had a different level of awareness to these pictures and pictures with her mother and just people in her life. So it was like really cool how like transparent she was, and then like hearing about all the things that she was going through in her personal, when she was doing Dancing with the Stars or when she was doing Selling Sunset, and seeing how some of those elements were actually real and actually happening in her life were cool. So here's some more construction tips. Never make a mediocre vision board. This is not the place for photos of you being sort of fabulous or one step below amazing. Swing for the fences. So I like that. I don't think that I make mediocre vision boards. I think that in my vision board, I kind of have like the same vision every year, but ever since I turned 30, every year for my birthday, I make myself a vision board. That's one of the ways that I celebrate myself is I set my New Year goals. You know what I mean? My New Year's resolutions through a vision board. And yes, I think they're big because I don't always get to experience all of them, but I do get to experience enough. And then some of the things I didn't get to experience in the way that I thought I would, but I did. Like I had a 4x4 truck on my vision board this past one. I got to drive a 4x4, but it wasn't mine. It was a rental. But it's still like, I got to have that experience, traveling with a purpose and all stuff like that. So, you know, it's cool how certain things pan out. Changing careers isn't giving up. Sometimes being resourceful and adaptable will lead you where you're supposed to be. So if you're still walking in your passion, even if you change careers, it doesn't change the passion. So like she started doing real estate while she was acting. Acting and being in Hawaii and Hollywood was still her passion. Like she never gave that up. It was just like, oh, this real estate, this is cool, this is interesting. So for like I had said something earlier, like, if you find yourself giving up on your passion because the money isn't coming in and because you're not getting attention, I don't really think that was your passion. I think that was like something that you thought you should do or you could do that was in alignment with an interest or a hobby you had, but that wasn't your passion because your passion, no matter if it's making money or getting attention or whatever, you can't stop doing it. You just can't. Like, it's a part of you. Like, I'm just never going to stop making music. I don't care if nobody listens to my music. I listen to my music. My music is my alarm clock. My music is my reminders. My music is my background music for different things that I make. I listen to my music when I'm sad, when I'm out of myself, when I'm whatever. Like, my music isn't for y'all. Like, when I make it, it's for me. This is my passion. It's something I've been doing since I was a child. Even now, like, music that's not like professional put together music. When I'm walking around, I turn anything into a song. Especially when I'm in a bad mood or in a super good mood. Like, you talking to me or whatever, I'm gonna say whatever you said to me and I'm put it in a song. I'm gonna sing it out or whatever. Like, I love music. This is my passion. Yes, I will teach. Yes, I will, do direct care. Yes, I would do like other jobs of service because I love to assist people. However, my passion is music. And I don't need to make money off of that to keep doing it. I'm gonna be 80 years old on stage rapping if y'all let me. I will, and I don't care. But that's how you know when something is your passion and when something is just like, oh, you're just doing this because you want attention or whatever. So this is another construction tip: how to up your value. Find a solution to a problem. Have a side hustle. Think outside of the box. Offer something unique. Take pride in your work. Know your worth, which is a big one, especially when you're sitting around people who benefit from you not knowing your worth and not knowing your value and being willing to lowball yourself because you just want to be in those space. Something that I do a lot. But I'm learning from these past few experiences is you think that people are going to eventually learn to value you. They're not. You have to literally have that conversation. Like, hey, this is this, that is that. This is my value. Or the price of yesterday is not the top price of today. Here's my new value. Like, be a pleasure to work with is a big one. Some of y'all are not pleasures to work with, and then y'all wonder why y'all always working by yourself. Write checks that you can cash. If you cannot cash them, don't do it. And then sometimes the best way to clap back is to butter them up, which is my favorite one because, like, I love to do for people. And I know I'm a good person. You know what I'm saying? I know who I am. I don't need nobody to validate me. So, like, I know, and I say this to my children, to anybody around me, it's not my responsibility to be your karma. I don't want to be your karma. I don't have to be your karma. I'm not interested in it. So, like, people who do me wrong, I won't say I start, like, going in people-pleasing mode with them, but, like, I've learned from my experience that a lot of people who do me wrong is because they're accustomed to a certain kind of ghetto energy in their space. So by me just staying in kindness, by me continuing to be a safe space and all of that, that is the best clap back because that just show you like, yo, you did somebody who really didn't deserve that wrong. Meanwhile, all these other fuck people in your face, yeah, they still in your face doing you crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even really do that for that result. Honestly, that's just how I am at this point. I don't even think about it till after the fact or whatever, some aha moment, or they come back to me on some apologetic, their realization. I don't need to do nothing crazy to nobody. Classy ways to clap back is humor, power moves, killing them with kindness, go go dead behind the eyes while smiling, social status, the subtle drag, ignore, and success. So, those are different ways. I don't intentionally do it. It's just me and my personality. But to hear somebody put it in their book on a construction tip, it was just like, oh, okay, cool. Luck is what happens when preparation means opportunity. No, I can't take credit for this definition. It was an ancient Roman philosopher named Seneca, but let's keep it real. I found it on Google. But when you prepare for something and you finally have the opportunity, that is like the definition of luck. I don't, but then that has to change your whole mindset on what luck is actually. You know what I'm saying? Another construction tip: don't try to ignore or run from bad things that have happened to you in the past. The power is in facing them and pushing them through healing. So I really like this one because I know I don't like the word trauma. I like the word challenge. And we experience challenges for a reason. We all have a root chakra. We all have Capricorn places, power placements, and Saturn placements. And these are the challenges that we need in our space to help us be successful. And Chiron, we all have a Chiron placement. And Chiron is there, and Charikula was there as well to help us heal from those Saturn placements and know that those experiences happen in our life for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And they happen to give us the muscle that we need to empower ourselves. And when you empower yourself, you reach that 11 number of mastery, you automatically become an inspiration for somebody else, even if you don't know that they're watching, even if you don't know they're paying attention or whatever. Like, you just automatically become this inspiration for them, this blueprint, this ruler for them, because people are always watching you. I don't realize how many people are watching me until somebody pulls up and says, "Hey, I'm watching you." Like, I didn't know that my physical therapist was watching me through my healing journey with my accident. Until one day she said something to me like, you're an inspiration, because most of the people that are going through what you're going through, they do the exact opposite. And you just keep prevailing. Like, you're losing weight, you're looking better, like your attitude gets brighter and brighter, like you're not getting depressed, you're not like, you're just really moving in the opposite direction of what our patients usually do. And and it was crazy because I didn't know she was watching me. She had so many patients, I didn't think she was watching me. Like, you know what I mean? I thought it was just another person here, come do my thing, and I'm gonna get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? So you never know who's watching you. You never know who's paying attention, especially in the social media world, where a lot of people don't even like to announce or give flowers to the people that they're watching. But just know that you are inspiring somebody, and they might just be nervous, or they might think, I can't say nothing to this person or whatever, whatever. So, like, don't ignore the bad things happen around from you. Don't try to run from them. Face them head on. Get that muscle that you need, that awareness that you need, whatever it is that you need from that space. And know that there's like not really too much about like good or bad. It's just about how you decide to digest that experience. You know what I mean? That matters. So she had this fun thing. So she started getting into her romantic life, and her husbands, and the guy she was dating, and the guy she was dating in college or whatever. And she brought him to Hollywood and realized he wanted a house and family in a small town. But even though she was from a small town, she always had big eyes. And that was a big thing for me too. Like, I won't say that I'm from a small town. Like, I don't think there's no such thing as a small town in New Jersey. I won't say that, but I'll say that, like, having a mindset that's outside of everybody else around you is very lonely. Like, even around like the quote unquote spiritual community or the activist community or whatever, I still don't feel like I belong, because my mind always takes me that next step forward. So it's like, I have this thought in my head of how I visualize things to be, and when I try to tell people my dreams, it's just like I feel even more lonely. So I stopped telling people my dreams. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I stopped talking about my goals and my dreams to people and on these platforms and stuff like that, because it just made me feel even more lonely. And to see someone who like was in Kentucky living in a trailer in the woods with 5 sisters, and even in the realm of her sisters was that sense of loneliness because her mind was on Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's It's interesting, but just for fun, this is not my outlook on men. You guys know how much I love men, but she's into real estate, so she makes this analogy. So you have different men. You have the fixer upper, you have the flip, you have the tear down, you have the Airbnb, and then you have the dream home. So that's that on that. And then she even gets into her favorite mom advice: do as I say, not as I do. I'm pretty sure we've all heard that one. When you feel bad, put on some music and start dancing. That's what I do for my music. My music gets me there. And that's why I say that's my passion. Teenage girls are the worst, but one day they come back to you. I was not blessed with a daughter. I have two boys, but I can say that being a daughter, when I was a teenager, I didn't fully understand, respect, accept, or welcome the different things that I was experiencing with my mother until I got older and I've started having this level of empathy for my mother. Like, my mom was my age with three kids. Where was her family at? I started thinking about all the things that she was going through and doing at my age, and I'm like, bro, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. Like, my journey is for me. I'm pretty sure people look at my journey and be like, oh, I couldn't do that. But like, when I think about my mom's, it's just like, damn, like, it's just like a whole new level of sympathy and empathy that comes out, pours out of me. So like, I like that one. Sisters have to stick together. God doesn't make mistakes. I brought you into this world. I could take you out. Just wait until your dad gets home and learn to drive in the worst car, and you'll be the best driver. I learned how to drive in a Pontiac Sunfire, and it was so comfortable. It was like a Fred Flintstone. You had to floor that hoe. I won't say I'm the best driver. I'm a terrible parker. Don't ask me to parallel park shit. Grief doesn't just go away. It becomes a part of you. The trick is not letting it define you. And I like that. An analogy that I use for that a lot, like, okay, so I got this scar on my hand. I got this recently, like not even a whole week ago, from hot water poured on my hand. And it hurts, well, it doesn't hurt now. It hurted then. So I have the scar. No, it doesn't hurt now, but the scar is there. And the scar is always going to be there. And anytime somebody comes to me and they be like, damn, what happened to your hand? It'd be like, oh, I was cooking for my dog and the hot water like spilled on my hand. That's always going to be a story. But do I walk around saying, hi, I'm a burn victim? No, it's not that deep. So it's just like, I believe and I know that being educated in the psychology, that's where my education background is, in psychology and sociology. Like, the way trauma is introduced is like something that you completely get over and it never comes back again. But that's not true. Like, your scar will always be there. That scar tissue will always be there. Those memory maps will always be there. But if you keep holding it like it's trauma and you're a victim and somebody did something to you and you're projecting it on your future relationships and experiences, then it's always going to be that. You know what I mean? You're making it your identity. You're making it your reality instead of putting it in your root chakra and allowing it to just create like a sense of groundedness or an experience that, helps you navigate through life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that Chiron and Chirico placement really fucking matters. You know what I'm saying? Another construction tip: instead of being annoyed, try to find humor and beauty in your loved one's quirks. One day you might just miss the things like their ridiculous obsession with collecting rocks. And so I know that's a big thing for a lot of us with breaking generational curses. A lot of us ostracize ourselves from our family and stuff like that. I will say that I do that. I separate myself from my family, but I do love my family. I do reach out, to certain ones, that I know that will tell me how other ones are doing or whatever, but I keep my peace. However, it's just like, certain things about certain family members, you just got to shrug and be like, that's who they are. And if you really love them and you really care about them and you want to love them the way your mother, which is your first, God loves you, you want that unconditional love. It's like, give the love that you want to receive. And if you really want to receive unconditional love, be and give unconditional love. You know what I mean, jelly beans? Another construction tip: saying I'll be happy when. Oh, thank you. Saying I'll be happy when means you're missing out on what's good right now. Remind yourself of 3 things you're grateful for each day, even if one of them is watching soaps with a grumpy roommate. So, like, always waiting. What's the matter? What you want?
I'm just watching it.
Oh, okay. So always having like a, I'll be happy when I have a certain amount of money. I'll be happy when I have a certain job. I'll be happy when I have this person in my life. I'll be happy when, always setting like that next bar forward of when you're supposed to be happy. You have to understand that you're telling yourself right now that you don't deserve happiness in this moment. So if you keep going through your days and your moments without this certain level of happiness, you got to know you're the one in charge of that. It's not that item that you're looking for. Let that item be a goal, but that item shouldn't determine your happiness. That item shouldn't, determine how you should feel about yourself in this moment. Be happy for yourself now without those things that you want. You know what I'm saying? And just say, with this happiness, I'm going to get those things. You know what I'm saying? So, am I happy for myself right now? Sometimes.
It's easier to preach it than to live it, though.
It is. And that's why this is a book review. And that's why I attracted this book. So, real estate lessons I learned on the job. Location is king. First impressions are everything. Dress to impress. Keep an open mind. Pick a lane. Learn from the best. Work smarter, not harder. It's not about you. And don't get discouraged. And then here's another construction tip. When dreaming big, you also need a plan of action. Be proactive and remember that even though Cinderella wished for her prince, she still had to go to the palace and get him. So, you know, you can dream big, you can manifest and meditate and stuff like that, but you still gotta put it in the work. All that to say, I really enjoyed this book. It was overall like a direct, reflection on her life story and stuff like that. But I really like the construction tips that she had in here. It's a whole lot more construction tips than the ones I read. It's just that the ones that I read in the book, they stood out to me the most because they touched me in the different things that I'm going through now. So like, I really appreciate her for writing this book. I appreciate her for writing this book the way that she did. I highly recommend this book to people whose lives are under construction and you guys, are trying to walk into your passion and trying to find balance between your passion and your reality and the different kind of hats that you want to balance or juggle when you're walking into those dreams. Like you want a home and a family with this passion job and these different things. And it's just like having patience for the fact that they all don't come at the same time. And they might come in different spurts. Like while your job is doing bad, you might find the love of your life. And then once your job starts getting good again, you have to close that window to move into this one. Or you might get closer to your family at home while, your love life is like this. But then, maybe those people in your family might pass on or whatever. And then now this door opens. So it may not always be all at the same time, but we give gratitude for the fact that when we look back on our overall life, we got to experience everything we said we wanted to experience. It doesn't always have to happen all at once. So again, really like this book. I have intentions on taking a lot of these construction tips and just sticking them on my wall so I can remind myself how to treat myself and how to think about myself in the moments when I fall apart. And so that's my book review for this one. Under Construction by Chrishell Stause. I really enjoyed this one, And I think this one came out like 2022 or something, like a little bit after COVID or whatever. So it's a fairly new book. That's my book review, y'all. Oh, I'll keep it here.